Almost 2 weeks ago, before the Galaxy S25 series of phones was fully announced, a nasty little rumor began circulating. A rumor so strange that I got comment after comment telling me that there's just no way that it's true. There's no way that it's going to happen. This rumor indicated that the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra was going to actually have some features removed, a downgrade of their S Pen. As you can see here in this tweet, this was an exclusive from this individual whose name I will not disrespect by mispronouncing. S Pen on the S25 Ultra will no longer feature Bluetooth, according to retail sources. And look, don't get me wrong, I understand why people were so skeptical of this report. It didn't really make a lot of sense. Why would Samsung do this? It was also coming from someone who, no disrespect to them, I don't think a lot of us had heard of. So we didn't know the provenance of this person. This wasn't Evan Blass or On Leaks or someone like that. So a lot of us just said, maybe it's going to happen, probably it's not going to happen, and we moved on. But now that the S25 Ultra has been fully unveiled, we know the truth. And the truth is, it's real. This is an actual thing. The Bluetooth in the S Pen of the S25 Ultra is gone. We're all left kind of scrambling, wondering, why would you actually do this? What is the benefit of doing this? And there are a few possible answers to this question, right? So no Bluetooth means no radio means lower battery drain, but man, this is Bluetooth LE. That battery drain is very, very minimal. So that is a extremely small benefit. You could say that it's made the S Pen a little bit lighter than it was before. But let me just tell you, I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about how the S Pen is not durable enough or it's too heavy. You could say that it's reducing cost. Maybe it's helping Samsung extract a few more pennies out of the profit margin of the S25 Ultra. And like any large corporation, Samsung is not beyond doing something like that. But I can't imagine this is a large amount of money. So again, why do this? Well, to answer that question, let's take a quick trip down memory lane to when I first talked about this as a rumor, because as it turns out, I think I got this 100% right. If this does happen, I think this is probably the answer to the question. Samsung probably just has data that almost no one is using these features, that these Bluetooth features are just sitting there, much like with me, going completely unused. And because of that, if there is any benefit to getting rid of them, weighed against the benefit of keeping them, which might be basically nothing, it might make sense to remove it. So since this actually became official, there's been a lot of conversation around it, and we've actually started getting word. You can see here Captain Two Phones, Mr. Mobile himself, also people, industry people in my own Discord server, on threads. You see it all over the place. Samsung is telling people that less than 1% of customers were using the features associated with Bluetooth on the S Pen. I guess at this point, I should tell you what those features are that less than 1% of people are using. What exactly is going the way of the dodo with Bluetooth leaving the S Pen? Well, it's primarily two features. One is something called Air Actions. I'll try my best to demo this for you, sort of just right in front of you. Basically, you can hold down the button on your pen and then do a little motion, and it will control your phone. So little arrow pointing up goes home. I think an arrow to the side will go back. Actually, I brought up my multitasking screen so I could sort of switch between applications. I think if I go this way, it'll do like the screen snipping tool or take a screenshot or something like that. So there's all these little controls, and you basically wave your pen around like Harry Potter and your phone does cool things. It's neat. I would ask how many of you that have these phones actually use that. Samsung says it's less than 1% of you. The other feature is in the camera application, where you can use the pen to control your shutter. So you put your phone in a tripod, you walk away, you click the button, and it takes a picture. That one is actually much more useful. And I think Samsung actually said that was the one that more people were using. Air Actions was a very underused feature. So they're getting rid of both of them. I am absolutely one of these people that think about the world in terms of simple math a lot of the time. You have a feature that no one is using. It does cost you something to leave that feature in. Therefore, it makes sense to remove it. That makes logical sense to me. Now, look, I get it. If you're in that less than 1% who use these features all the time and you're bummed out about it, I'm not targeting you. I feel bad. It sucks. It sucks to be someone who is using a feature and then that feature goes away with the new phone. It's a bummer. So I have sympathy for you. I have empathy for you, 100%. I'm just saying that's kind of how I would see things. No one's using it. Stop making it. But the world is not always so simple as that. And I think that when Samsung was doing their calculus here, there is a chance that they made a miscalculation, that they did not properly factor in the impact of the public outrage. I think that they expected this to just flutter by. No one's using it. No one's going to care. No one's going to notice, but they were wrong. All you have to do is go on Google and search S25 Ultra S Pen Bluetooth and go to news, and you will see article after article after article talking about how it has fewer features than it did before. This is bad press. And then you go to Twitter, you go to Threads, you go to Reddit, you go to my own comment section, and you're going to see comment after comment. And it's one of these situations where I think a lot of the people that aren't happy about it aren't even people who were using those features. They just think that it seems unfair. You have a product and you've removed features from the product and you've not lowered the price. You've not done anything to offset this reduction. Hey, I wasn't using that, but I might have wanted to at some point, and now you've taken it away and you've not given me anything in return. You didn't lower the price at all. You haven't done anything to offset taking this feature away. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. It's bad optics. I do want to draw a quick parallel, though, to last year's phones to kind of maybe offset this a little bit. Maybe give you another perspective on this, because maybe some of you have forgotten, but when the S24 line of phones was announced, it was pretty heavily criticized. People said the hardware is not being improved enough. They're relying too much on software features. Does that sound familiar to anyone? And the S24 Ultra had something that a lot of people saw as a downgrade. The 23 Ultra has a 10x optical zoom. The 24 is, yes, a better sensor, a higher resolution sensor, but it's a 5x optical zoom. At 10x, they look very similar. Past 10x, more extreme zooms, the older phone often performs better. I would argue that is maybe a bigger issue than a couple of features going away on the S Pen. You can freely disagree with me on that one, but there are parallels here, right? These two situations were kind of similar. And a lot of people, because of that, said that the S24 Ultra would sell poorly. No one was going to buy this phone, but that's not what happened. I'll show you this snippet from my initial article on this rumor. You can see the sales figures here. The 24 Ultra sold significantly better than the 23 Ultra. Those of us in the tech bubble, those of us who are on tech websites, we're on tech YouTube, by the way, thanks for being here. We in this bubble thought this was going to be a big deal. There was a lot of outrage and outcry and noise and hubbub about this, but the general population buying the phones, they didn't seem to care. And you have to wonder if that's going to be the same situation again with the S Pen. Will normal people care that air actions that they didn't know existed are gone? Will they be impacted by this? Part of me thinks probably not. Then again, it's also fair to point out that 24 to 25, the hardware changes are even less than 23 to 24. They're even more reliant on software features. So we just don't know how this is going to play out, and we won't know for a little while until we start seeing sales figures sort of rolling in. At any rate, I think the question being, should they have done this? The answer is almost certainly no, because the benefit of doing this is basically nothing. So the fact that this is going to have at least some negative impact on public perception of them, to me, that makes it so that the scales are tipped into the direction of probably should have just left the features. You also have to wonder if the AI fatigue that is plaguing people inside the tech circle, if that's ever going to leave that tech circle and begin affecting the broader public. I would say that given the fact that Samsung has now for 2 generations in a row leaned heavily on AI features, the first year to great success, seeing their sales increase, they have to assume that they're going to do this again to even more success. But who knows? They may be wrong about that. At any rate, guys, there is a lot to talk about in the comments down below. What are these features that you are using? Do you think it's going to matter in the end? Do you think it'll actually affect their sales like these sorts of things didn't affect their sales last time? What would you have done? Would you have left it in? Would you have taken it out? Does this matter at all? Get those comments down below. I must also say that if you are considering purchasing one of these Galaxy S25 devices, please do use my links in the description and in the pinned comment down below. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it does help support the channel and it helps me continue to do what I am doing. So again, not if you weren't going to buy one. Don't buy a phone to support my channel, but if you were already going to do it, maybe use my link. It's free and it helps me, so that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.